designed to formulate business plan is fine. The whole basic concept of dreaming your business and putting it down into a process is very good. It's something new to me. I also saw it for the first time. But to me, the trick starts from here because this is qualitative. Now, putting down your thoughts into numbers is where now the business calculations need to start. The difference between the dream and business are only those numbers. Dreams are qualitative, you put them into proper perspective, focus, all that is fine. But then putting them down onto paper so that these are sustainable by funding or not by funding needs numbers. And that is something which everybody needs to focus on now. Okay, there has to be numbers as to what you're trying to do, how it will work. It will work for you, work for the society, work for investor or whatever method. So numbers is what becomes important. This basic fear which most new entrepreneurs have on numbers, accounting, I don't understand this, needs to go away, because to me accounting is a great decision making tool. Accounting is not something you do for government agencies only. Accounting is something you do for yourself to retrospect and see what it is. The basic principle on business plan to me is you should be able to put it on paper. If you can't put it on paper, you can never do it in real life. If you can put it on paper, you know that if this can work on paper, the chances of it working in real life are far, far higher. You know it in the beginning as to what numbers are not gelling anywhere, where you are spending more, where you are getting more, how are your metrics working for your revenue sharing, expenses, where your expenses would go up but revenues would not go. Everything, if you can imagine and have your assumptions written down also, which may not be true to life, which could change with time. But it's very important, I think, to put all your dreams and thoughts into numbers. So numbers. That has to be put in more beyond dreams. To make dreams reality, there have to be numbers into place, I think. Use design as an element to the visual communication to get your wider dreams into narrower dreams, focused dreams, right from imagining it as a movie and trying to make it into a movie format, script writing director, making it interesting for the young ones to start looking at it, because they of course they'll understand maybe the business language but don't like it to put it down in those manners. To giving it that interesting thought was good. Visually it works better, right till you closed it on branding now. So the whole concept of giving it to this generation is good on that count. It be for social enterprise or regular business enterprise. Using design for taking it up to this stage is fine. But I think going forward from this stage, the need of getting numbers clearly into their mind. And then working on numbers, it not be finality of numbers, but working on those numbers into everything, anything. Everybody is talking of target consumers. What is the numbers? They don't know. Everybody is talking of revenue, but what is the numbers? They don't know. Costs, they have not worked out at all. What kind of costs they will have. The particular team I was talking to on the social enterprise, they have not worked up as to would they need office in India or in US, what are the registrations for charities in India or in US. Now all these things sometimes shatter a dream, which once you come to know later, because there are practical issues into all this. So it is time they get into those practicalities, otherwise it can be very frustrating for a young mind to do a lot of big dream, but not get those right things when one has got to come down to the Mother Earth and start putting them into practice. So that practical aspect has to come in now, soon, so that they don't spend another 3 months and still dreaming and then find that no, this is not legally possible. Like on the brands, I got up and said that when you decide a brand, you can't use certain words. There are legal terminologies given that you can't use few words at all. You never get a registration for them. And then you will have an issue. You start using a word and then somebody gets up and objects saying, no, this is similar to what I use for my brand. It's too late for it. So that legal concept as to how the IPRs work, how the trademarks work, a little concept is to be given even to people who create brands. It's just not a visual thing, but there has to be a guideline saying, oh, you can't do all this. Whatever good it may look, but these words you can't use, these visuals you can't use, which have a political overturn or with another brand or XYZ. That I think is little missing. Those insights need to be given to them. A great concept, though you have yourself said beta, interesting, infancy, yes. Great concept, it would need to be channelized, because dream is again something which can be very wide. Overall, to make it effective, you would have to, once people start putting their dreams on it more and more, you would know that as to where they are going. How some of them could be practical, how some of them could be sustainable, how some of them can change self, community, country or a globe. I'm sure it's worth promoting and proposing dreams which have a change on some kind of environment, right from self up to the world. So that would have to happen. People would learn to put their dreams into words, which is very difficult. One technical thing I know about dreams, which I read very recently, was Even the dream is in dream, the dream when you see when you sleep. One can never remember the beginning. I never knew this. You can only remember what happened in the dream, but there's no way you would remember where it started from. Okay? Here what I find is people remember where the dream starts from, but then slowly it becomes so wide, they need to get the focus a little shorter and then make it bigger. Right now the focus of everybody here is very, very wide. And it could become very frustrating for those young ones if it doesn't happen in a given time frame, because that's also a revenue model for them. They're not doing it for just fun and games. So they have to shorten their dream, put those phases clearly, just talk of global, India as a country and things like that. It needs to fine tune it, get them a narrower passage is what I would feel.